For a long time, I've been fascinated by music and by the environments that best support the creation of it. My ventures in the business have always been fueled by my desire to understand what makes a supportive environment for music. Since I began this journey 7 years ago, I continue to refine how it is I support myself and others through the creative process. Currently, my role as program coordinator for a Creative Accelerator Program allows me the opportunity to work with young adults in the pursuits of careers in music, graphic design, videography, and photography. In other words, my job rules. I want to share with you this evening what my colleagues and I have come to understand about our participants' creative process and why we believe individualized programs best support them. I think it's important to share this information because art and music is something we all get to enjoy. It fulfills our human desire for aesthetics. And yet, I don't think many people realize the many layers to the process and the degree of dedication that it takes to succeed. So, the first thing we understand about artists is that they're all different. So we understand that artists have different backgrounds, different workflows, different aspirations, and different goals. This is the first reason we customize our programs. The second is we know the artistic process to be a very intimate and vulnerable process for people. When we establish an environment where I get to know each participant as a unique person, allows me to understand where they come from, who they are, what they want to create, the challenges that they have faced, and how this all relates to their work. Engaging on a one-to-one basis provides a safe foundation for all the complex emotions and the fears that come up to have a safe place to land, allowing the participant to develop a relationship with these parts of themselves. Now, those are just a couple of very small aspects of the artistic process. I think it's important that I also highlight a couple of cultural and societal components. I have observed the creative culture to evolve incredibly fast. Now, I can't particularly say this about graphic design, videography, and photography because it's not my expertise. But I know this to be true about music. The music that was exploding in the beginning of my career has transcended. And individualization comes into play here because my lens into the current music trends is through the participants that I work with. And in order to maintain relevance in the programs that I design, means I have to be responsive to the generational trends and to their particular interests. The fourth subject I want to speak to is in relation to professional and financial success. Now, this is a really big subject to tackle, so I'll just mention a couple of things here. It is my belief that there is no one formula that can actually be applied to promise success. All the artists that I know who have cultivated success in their creative ventures have all gotten there through their unique paths. In our program, we push our participants to learn for themselves where the areas of their growth lie. There is an iterative process that we move through in order to understand our participants, where they come from, and what they want to create. First, we define. We define what it is they want to create, and then they create. Through the creative process, we get to measure what works from what didn't work. Some people are making music, some people are making videos, and we get to look at all of the components that came into play in creating the project, and we evaluate their behavior through it. What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? Where do they need to grow? They get to learn about themselves. There is a lot that comes into our work, and how we get to know each participant, and how each participant relates to the craft that they want to share with the world, and how they want to express themselves. A lot of the times, our job feels like therapy, because it is. It's an intimate thing. And a lot of the times, it's incredibly exciting. Our environment is constantly filled with the exciting projects that pertain to music, videography, photography, and graphic design. So the model that we used is inspired by the lean startup model. Define, create, measure. Because we feel that every completed cycle builds personal and professional inventory. So with all of that, I think it's appropriate to share a few of the projects that have been designed within our program. This is Jeffrey. As you can see here, Jeffrey is a mystical creature. And although Jeffrey doesn't need our support to actually help create the projects that he makes, he does want to learn how to understand how to best monetize his art and where the best places to exhibit it is. He made everything in this picture. He is in love with succulents, as you can see there. There's succulent drawings, there's succulents on the side of his actual chair, and he actually 3D designed the mask that he is wearing here. He is a creative machine, and he best performs when he is given a wide array of mediums by which to express himself. This is Ben. Ben was in a photography program. He worked with our mentors to learn about lighting and composition. And he used the pool of the other artists in our program to help build his personal portfolio. He photographed musicians, he photographed artists, he photographed art. And in order to fulfill his curiosity of what the professional industry actually looks like, his last project brought him onto a set to photograph a wedding that one of our mentors was hired to do. Lucy, who was actually pictured by Ben, is one of our music participants. She came into our program with a huge desire to record. She's had a lot of insecurities about her voice and about her performance, but every recording we did in the studio allowed her to build her self-confidence and her self-esteem around her craft. Lucy challenged me the most in regards to what it means to hold space for somebody to work through their emotional, obstacles. She is now in her second project and has recorded 4 tracks in our studio. This is Cameron. Cameron came in hungry to DJ. Every single day he DJ'd. He wasn't very good when he began. I heard train wrecks on a daily basis. But I've also heard some of my favorite sets from Cameron. He has completely reinvented and reformed what I think about drum and bass and dubstep and jungle when he actually lays it down for himself. My vision for Cameron was different than his own in the beginning, but we let him build this program, and his interests have grown. He is now moving into electronic music production, and just as he has succeeded in mixing, he will in electronic music production. Young Wees, aka Wilson, works very closely with Cameron. Together, they complement each other in their unique skills and their unique flavors for music. Wilson has used his mentorship time very sparingly. He kind of just focuses on making a new track every day, and every day he has a new track that he makes. And it's through that actual focus and those continuous iterations that his sound has grown tremendously. I'm proud to say that as of last week, we have hired Wilson as an intern to help us mentor his peers in his ability to produce, mix, and master. Next, I'm going to show you a clip of a track that was made in our studio.
Now I'm saturated in sunshine, but the blues is keeping me back. Yeah. Now I'm saturated in sun.
That was a track by Wilson Harwood, who in the beginning of the program had a bigger workload than my own, which is saying a lot. I'm a very ambitious woman. Through reflecting on his work and where he places his energy, he's decided to focus on his own solo career, which allows him to create tracks like the one that you just heard. So I thought about giving you some conclusion about how to best support artists in their creations, but that's missing the point. My work has shown me that support in the arts takes a different form for everybody, and that success always has its own path. So as long as we cultivate an open mind, celebrate all people that create, we produce a foundation fertile for all mediums of human self-expression. Thank you.